Have you ever been told to just get over it and be happy when you're feeling down? It sounds easy, right? But is it really? That's a question that many of us have grappled with. The idea of jumping from a state of despair to one of joy seems not only daunting but nearly impossible. So how do we bridge this gap? This is where the emotional guidance scale comes into play. This scale, a thoughtful tool, presents a practical approach to improving emotional states. It's not about making giant leaps from negative to positive emotions, but rather about taking small, manageable steps. Imagine it like climbing a ladder. You wouldn't try to leap from the bottom rung straight to the top, would you? Instead, you'd make your way up, one rung at a time. The emotional guidance scale operates on this very principle. It offers a roadmap from lower emotions like depression towards higher ones like joy, but it doesn't expect you to make the journey in one gigantic leap. Instead, it encourages gradual progression, allowing you to feel each emotion fully before moving on to the next. So, instead of leaping from depression to joy, the emotional guidance scale shows us how to climb our emotional ladder one rung at a time. It's a journey of self-discovery and emotional growth that is both rewarding and empowering. And here's the best part, you're in the driver's seat. You control the pace and the direction, so are you ready to start your journey? The emotional guidance scale is a tool that lists 22 common emotions, from the lowest, despair, to the highest, joy. Imagine this scale as a ladder, where at the bottom you have despair, and at the top you have joy. It's a tool that helps us understand our emotional landscape and how we can navigate it. Let's consider an example. Suppose you're feeling depressed, which sits at number 22 on the emotional guidance scale. Now you might think, I need to get to joy, which is number 1. But that's a big jump, isn't it? It's like trying to leap from the bottom of the ladder straight to the top. Not only is it unrealistic, but it can also be overwhelming. Here's a different approach. Instead of aiming for joy immediately, consider moving up one rung at a time. From depression, you might aim for guilt, which is number 21. You might think, but guilt isn't a positive emotion. True, but it's one step up from depression, and that's progress. So, how do you make this shift? By reframing your thoughts to generate the feeling of guilt. Remember, this is a mental exercise. You're not looking to act out these emotions, just to experience them internally. This is the power of thought reframing, and we can tell we are reframing in a healthier way by our feelings. Once you've comfortably moved to guilt, you can aim for the next emotion on the scale, which might be rage, number 19. Again, you use thought reframing to generate this feeling. You continue this process, moving to blame, then to disappointment, and so on. The goal isn't to rush through these emotions, but to acknowledge each one, feel it, and then let it go, making room for the next. It's about owning your emotions, accepting them, and then releasing them. By naming and owning our emotions, we can gradually let them go and move upwards on the emotional guidance scale. So, how can we apply the emotional guidance scale in our daily lives? Let's consider a scenario. Imagine you're feeling disappointed because a friend is always late for your get-togethers. On our scale, disappointment is ranked at number 12. Now, instead of wallowing in this emotion, you can use thought reframing to shift your emotional state. You might start by thinking, I'm really disappointed that he's always late. It feels like he's not respecting my time. Actually, it's more than disappointment, it's downright irritating. Notice what happened there? You've just moved up from disappointment to irritation, which is number 10 on our scale. Don't stop there. Let's climb higher. You might think, you know what? I'm not going to wait around anymore. I'm going to do something that I enjoy instead. I'm going for a walk. Suddenly, you're feeling contentment, which is number 7 on our scale. You might even feel a touch of empowerment, which, by the way, ranks at number 1. This is the power of the emotional guidance scale. It's not about suppressing our emotions. It's about naming them, owning them, and then gradually releasing them to move up the scale. Remember, every step upwards is an improvement. By talking or thinking ourselves into better feelings, we can navigate our emotional landscape with more confidence and control.